Welcome into this Big Ten today on a Wednesday, the final day before we begin our preseason camp tour here on the Big Ten Network. I'm Dave Revson, entering season number 20 of covering this great conference, and a guy who's been covering it every step of the way with me, Jerry DiNardo, joins me. Coach, no one loves the camp tour more than you. You ready to get started?
I can't wait. I wish we could do it all year round, but camp only lasts about a month. Yeah, I'm fired up, never.
I think there are a lot of players and coaches who are happy that camp doesn't last all year round, but it should be fabulous. Can't wait to hit the road with you. We'll meet up in State College coming up here in just a few days. We do have some news that came out on yesterday. Our big story is that the first coaches poll of the year is out. Ohio State's #1 by a fairly significant margin. The Bucks garnering 38 of the 72 first place votes. Oregon comes in #2. First time the Big Ten's had the #1 team in the preseason coaches poll since 2015 when OSU topped the rankings. First time they have ever had the top 2 in the preseason coaches poll. That goes back to 1978. Defending champ Indiana is 6th despite garnering the second most first place votes. Then you see USC, Michigan, Penn State, Washington, and Iowa, the others in the preseason rankings. So 8 Big Ten teams in all. The team that topped the most important ranking last year, the final one, the defending national champ Indiana, got some good news yesterday. Defensive lineman Stephen Daly, who led the Big Ten in tackles for loss last year despite missing the CFP with a knee injury, will return for a 5th year. Daly taking advantage of last week's district court ruling in Colorado, which gave an extra year of eligibility to class of 2022 high schoolers who played 4 years without redshirting. Let's use IU as our jumping off point here, Jerry, as we dive into those teams in the poll. And I think a lot of people in the college football world are wondering, how did this happen? How did a team which 2 years ago was best known for simply being the losingest team in the history of college football go in those 2 years to 16-0? Undefeated national champs? What's your explanation for IU's rise?
Well, first of all, it's the great story of a lifetime, right? The Olympic gold medal and Coach Signetti and the Indiana Hoosiers right now are the 2 biggest stories in our lifetime. I find the narrative interesting, Rever. A lot of people think, well, the transfer portal had a major part of it. He brought 13 players with him from James Madison. And then he's recruiting these quarterbacks that if there was no transfer portal, most likely would not have happened. I push back on that narrative because I think this is simply a great coach taking advantage of the present system. If the system wasn't the same, or it hadn't changed, rather, and we were playing before the portal and before all the NIL and so on and so forth, I still think that Kurt Signetti wins a national championship at Indiana. I think that he is taking advantage of the new climate, but it's not that simple. We're going to find out because we're going to see ADs hire someone with Coach Signetti's background, and it's not going to finish with a national championship. So I think both things are true, but the most important thing to me is a great coach is a great coach is a great coach.
No doubt, and he clearly is fabulous. I think, your argument is, hey, he could have won the national championship without the portal, without NIL. I agree with you. Whether he could have done it as quickly, I think that in this climate, the ability to turn over a roster as quickly as you can gives you a leg up. But I think your point is well taken, which is everyone else had the same opportunity that Curt Signetti had, right? And most of them were starting from a far better place than he was. I remember he took over a program that won 1 conference game the season before he got there. So everyone could do what IU has done. Everyone could do what SIG has done. They certainly don't have the most NIL money. I mean, we don't have a whole lot of transparency, so we don't know exactly how much. But I think it's fair to assume they don't have the most in the country. Have they taken advantage of it? Of course they have. They have a lot of support. As they've told us, they have the most living alumni of any school. But I think your point is well taken, Jerry, which is no matter where he is, Curt Cignetti is a winner. We have seen that play out earlier in his career, and he is, I think, the most obvious explanation, no doubt, for what's happened here.
Of course, and if you look at Indiana's history, some coaches have had success there, right? So the ones that have had success are the best coaches that have coached in Indiana, even though it obviously didn't end in a national championship. So to not give Coach Cignetti the majority of the credit, I think that's not true. I think he deserves most of the credit.
It's pretty interesting, just as a footnote on that poll, Jerry. I mentioned IU got the second most first-place votes, but they're number 6 in the preseason poll. So the math is fascinating to me. I think it tells you that there are some coaches, obviously, who rank them pretty low in that poll. And as you've taught me through the years, some of that might be an honest assessment. Some of that might be their feelings about a particular program. So maybe there are some fellow coaches who aren't crazy about Curt Cignetti, but whatever it is, the math, and again, we don't get to see where all the coaches voted these teams, but it is pretty interesting that IU got the second most first-place votes, and they're number 6. So it's Ohio State, which is the number 1 team heading into the year. There's so much to talk about, obviously, with the Buckeyes. In your mind, what's the most interesting thing surrounding OSU?
The last couple hires of his coordinators, Matt Patricia, NFL guy, that hire, when it happened, was very interesting. And now Arthur Smith, now an offensive coach from the NFL, taking over the Ohio State offense. I think Ohio State wants to play, and I think this is the trend in college football right now. Ohio State wants to play the game like the NFL does. Strong run game, strong play action game off the run game, and play very good, strong run defense. I think that's where the offenses are and the programs are evolving to. How long ago was it we were running 100 plays, guys were faking injuries on defense, it was hurry up, that's gone. I mean, it came, it showed itself, and now we don't see the tempo offense all that much. Where are most of the best programs in the country going? Because of recruiting, they're having strong lines of scrimmage, they're having strong quarterback play, they want to run the ball, play action, and play defense. And that's what I think Ryan Day has done with his hires. He has put together an NFL type of staff, and why not? He has NFL type players.
Well, as borne out by the fact he had 7 players drafted off the defense alone last year into the NFL. So, yeah, no doubt. And your point is well taken. I mean, last year, Ohio State literally played at the slowest tempo of any team in the country. Ryan Day did hint that maybe they play a little quicker this year. I think last year he felt like, well, we're going to lean on the fact that we have this great defense that's loaded with talent. We have a freshman quarterback. We don't want to put too much on his plate. I do think it's interesting with them as the preseason number 1. I mean, their schedule is really tough. And so there is kind of this balancing act of how much do you vote on who has the best talent versus how much do you vote on who you think might end up with the best record. And if Ohio State runs through that schedule undefeated, I mean, they no doubt would clearly be the best team in the country. I mean, starting with that game going to Texas and playing the other college football playoff teams from the Big Ten last year, including the Oregon Ducks. Oregon is interesting, Jerry. You were talking about the coordinators at Ohio State. Oregon's got 2 new coordinators this year. They're both internal hires. Drew Mehringer taking over the offense, Chris Hampton taking over the defense as Will Stein and Tosh Lupoy moved on to head coaching jobs. What's the challenge of integrating those 2 new coordinators for Dan Lanning?
Yeah, the challenge is the unknown, and this is what the unknown is: play selection, right? They've been part of this staff, so they're going to be organized as a staff putting together a game plan. They know that, obviously, from being on it. The scheme, the scheme's not probably going to change. I mean, new coordinators, especially from inside hires, they don't really change much. The most challenging thing is it's 3rd and 2. And if you get the first down, you win the game. It's 3rd and 2. If you can stop the opponent, you win the game. And we talked to Coach Lanning, you and I, when we were on the desk in media days, about what do you do? How do you train your new coordinators to call the game? And he simply said, we do mock games. So he's going to be sitting in a room at some point and has already sat in a room with the new coordinators, freeze the frame. It's 3rd and 2. What do you got? And these guys have experience at that, but until it's game Saturday and Dan Lanning is taking off his headset to answer a question about the offense and the defensive coordinator's calling signals, and it's a critical time in the game, that call better be right. So to me, they know the routine. How good a play selector on offense and defense are they?
And it speaks to how good the previous two were when you look at the jobs they got. I mean, they both end up in power conference jobs. Oregon is so tantalizingly close. I mean, you go back here over the last few years, all 5 of the games they've lost have been to teams that played for the national championship. Only 2 losses last year were to the team that won the national championship in IU. So they're on the cusp. And I think to your point, Jerry, now the challenge becomes, can you get over that hump and can you do it with 2 new guys calling the plays? So that'll be part of the intrigue, no doubt, in Eugene. So much more to come on our show. We're going to move to the teams outside the top 10, including USC. Is this the year the Trojans break through and make the CFP? Plus new coaches in Happy Valley and Ann Arbor, both facing big-time expectations. Jerry weighs in on year 1 for Matt Campbell and Kyle Whittingham. This is Big Ten Today.